I would like to officially open Lift 6 for the Royal Academy of Engineering. This is the 6th year in a row that we have brought some of the brightest minds from countries all over the world. In this case, we have Brazil here to England for our 2-week residential training. And once again, every year I say I can't be more impressed, and I'm more impressed. The fellows this year have been absolutely amazing. And what you're going to hear now are all the pitches for all their ideas and solutions that are going to impact not just their local community, but the world. And I couldn't be more proud to represent the Royal Academy here and these fellows. So I first want to give a hand to all the fellows. You guys are amazing. Thank you all to the judges as well for being here. We are going to start our pitching. And with that, our first fellow is Allan from Brazil, who's going to tell you how he's changing the world of food and drug safety.
Thank you. Start. Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Allan Carniel. I'm CEO of Netto Electronic Intelligence from Brazil, and we ensure that your goods are always transported in right temperature. Well, we started in 2016, when my co-founders were working in food industry, and they were challenged to reduce the wastes during transport. So he concluded that a lot of operational mistakes during logistic process, and the truck driver were not unable to keep the correct temperature of the trucks. And based on this, imagine the same case with same vehicle transporting pharmaceutical products. So I'm not just talking about damaged products, I'm talking about risk of lives. To solve it, we created an IoT system that they are connected in refrigerated machines, applying transport, where can be operated remotely by a logistics central in a software. With this solution, we monitor so far 20,000 loads in Brazil and other countries. And we are pioneers with this technology in Brazil. We receive monthly fee to do this service. And these are our focus of our clients: logistics companies, food and pharmacies, and insurance companies. So since 2016, when we started, we received a lot of achievements, and now our focus are in sales. In this program, LIFT program, help us a lot to understand better our market and our clients, and do more credibility to us with our customers in Brazil. Well, here are our team. We are partners, co-founders with experience in food industry, refrigerated logistics, and I work in a hardware industry, and we have a good team to do this thing better. Well, we are asking £200,000 for 10% of our company to invest mainly in these areas. To build a sales team, open a new branch in São Paulo, that's where are our main customers, and our market, investing in market. Thanks very much.
And he nailed the time. Perfect timing. Oh.
Any questions, please?
Can I start the questioning? Thank you for the presentation. When you start your marketing process, how many units will you have to sell in order to break even?
Perfect. We started in 1 year ago to commercialize our product. And we sell 50 units, and we have more 20 in progress in a POC. We need 4,400 units en road to get our break even.
4,000 units.
400. Sorry.
400.
400.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thanks for the presentation. I guess I'd like to know a little bit more about who are your competitors in this space and what makes your solution unique.
Perfect. I'm talking in Brazil, have a lot of companies that to tracking vehicles that insert additional sensor the temperature inside the trailers, and our focus are in temperature, and the track is a consequence. So our competitors are offline data loggers that are installed, that are inserted inside of the box, and these in companies of that track vehicles. These are our main competitors, but we are working with CDA with a big partner to expand our business, and we started to talk with one company that track vehicles but not track well temperature. He needs to improve this part of the company. These are specialized, guarantees that the product will be safety to consumption.
Thank you. That's a great idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just on the 40K that you were doing in 2019, that's per year. That's what you've done so far. In 2019, you've done 40,000. Is that correct? In your revenue?
Here, yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's what you've done so far. And
these
you're
are-
valuing the business at $2 million, presumably.
Yeah.
But for 200,000 pounds,
Yeah.
$200,000 for
Yeah.
10%. Okay.
Pounds. Well, because we involve a lot of technology. Our is the first product in Latin America that operates in this system that can be operated remotely, and we think that we grow a lot in the market, and not just because we started our sales in a few time ago. So we need.
I think you're valuing it too low.
Sorry.
I think you're valuing it too low.
Really?
Hello, thank you for your presentation. You mentioned that the problem that you're trying to solve is losses and logistical workarounds. So which data are you using to measure the impact of your product? How do you know if your product is being successful?
Good question. We measure with a POC that we did with a local food industry. We developed together we measure with the reduction of loss, where in 1 year with 50 vehicles we reduced 14 losses to 0. Yeah.
The first is always hardest.
Thank you.
Okay. One thing I forgot to mention is we probably should stand near the green triangle thing.
Okay.
So
I'll
that
try to do so.
So that the camera is doing its best job. Judges, this is Caetano, who is going to basically tell you how he's changing the entire world of bacteria and everything else, microbial treatment of the future. Caetano!
Okay. There you go. So, good morning, fellows. My name is Caetano, and this is me with my grandma. Because she was obese and diabetic, she spent the last 30 years of her life with big infected wounds in her legs, until a point where she got a superbacteria infection and we could not save her. In fact, superbacteria is the #1 problem by the WHO. It's expected that until 2050, it will cause more deaths than cancer, and the excess in healthcare costs will be greater than the combined GDP of Brazil and UK. So, this is a sentence by the Director General of WHO. It says that a child's scratched knee could once again kill. And even worse, the regular treatment for that would be amputation. So I spent the last 10 years of my life studying different methods that could counterattack this superbacteria threat. And after publishing lots of papers and books, I felt like I was only saving the life of mice because there were no companies out there bringing this to the people. So we developed a method that is very simple but powerful. We just need to apply our patented drug formula and then activate it with light from special lasers that we also patented. And it doesn't even need a surgery room. It can be performed in clinics and also in the house of the patient. Our business model is by selling those drugs to hospitals and clinics and also charging for each use of the equipment. We're not going to sell the equipment. And we may license it as well. So this is a small clinical trial that we performed on diabetic feet. And with our technology, we could save 17 out of 18 patients from amputation, while regular antibiotics could not save a single one. And this is actually even better, because we can also kill fungi, parasites, viruses, and even prions. And this is not susceptible to resistance. And diabetic foot is just the beginning of it. We're going to go through the entire body, and each one of those diseases will be treated. And if we had this kind of solution 10 years ago, we could save my grandmother. So here in the UK, we already got some very good connections with investors and potential partners, especially a guy from Mexico that is going to speak to you later about wound healing. We have an amazing team with more than 20 PhDs. And we have some very strong institutional collaborations, and we already generated revenue by selling equipment to scientists in very renowned institutions. Thank you. My name is Caetano Sabino. I'm the founder of BioLambda, and I want you to help me light up medicine.
Just go back to the picture of the foot.
That's an ugly one.
How quickly does that? What sort of time period does that happen?
This one is 10 weeks.
10 weeks.
So they need to do the treatment once a week, going to the clinics of the doctor, and then the wound would heal over time. And I mean, it's super infected and super large, so it takes some time to regenerate it. But perhaps with the product from Manuel, the guy that I told you, that has a very interesting one for wound healing, we should be able to reduce the healing time there.
And have you brought this to the UK? No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're just in Brazil.
Oh, just in Brazil. Okay.
We're looking for partners here.
Or investors.
Yeah?
Hello, thank you for your presentation. So one of the key things of the medical industry in drugs, treatments and everything is that most of the things are only tested in men. And I see that your team is full of men only.
Yeah.
So my question is...
That part that I showed there, yeah.
Do you have any plans to test both your products in men and women and separate the data to see if there are any changes in the results? For example, if it takes longer or if the exposure time of the laser should be shorter or anything like that?
That's a very good question. Actually, here we had a 50-50 separation of patients, okay? And the thing is that most drug companies try to test only in men because we don't have this hormone oscillation over time. These can generate some lower immune response in women, so they try to avoid that. But it doesn't happen for us, okay? So it's not a problem for us at all. And regarding our team, these guys, it's really complicated to find engineers and computer scientists there in Brazil who are women. It's much more rare, unfortunately. But over here on this side, that I could not put any pictures there for the team, there are those clinicians. There are more women than men, actually. Okay?
Yeah, I guess I'm curious, very impressive. How close are you to sort of large-scale commercialization in terms of testing, getting, like, if you want to go to the US or UK, what would the timeline look like?
Yeah, so what we want to do now is a large-scale clinical trial, because this one is just a proof of concept. So we need to do this clinical trial. We're already submitting for the regulation on ethics committee there. We're just waiting for the Brazilian agency to respond to it. Yeah. And so it should begin at the beginning of next year. Okay, so we need to go through this testing for about a year. Then after that, we can go to the regulation of the equipment and the drug. That should take 1 or 2 years. And it also depends on how much investment we have, and we can accelerate that with some better money. And actually in Brazil, it takes so long to get those regulations. So if we go to the US first, we can go it faster.
Thank you. Can you talk us through some of the economics of the business in terms of, if you buy a machine and you run a series of treatments, how many patients do you need to put through in order to cover the cost of the machine, cover the cost of the operator of the machine, and so on? So if let's say someone was to invest, I don't know how much the machine costs, let's say it's 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000, whatever that number is, how long in time and how many patients would they have to treat before they'd made that investment back?
Okay, so we have an interesting business model here in which we're going to charge for each use. But that's not just it. It's going to be pretty much like a telecom kind of contract where you have a minimum use pack every month. And this minimum use pack would pay off the equipment for the first 10 months of use. But if the clinician uses more than what the minimum pack expects, it's going to pay off much faster, because then we're going to have exceeding profits on it. And also we have the drug that is going to be sold together with, so the drug pays off much faster.
Profit margins high?
Yeah, it's pretty high. It's pretty high. Medical equipment and drugs is some good margins. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Caetano. Diogo is next, who is going to help you all teach and inspire your children with the next generation of everything. Diogo.
Can I start? Hey, I'm Diogo from Diogo Maker. We've been, since 2016, improving education. Our traction so far, we already had a prototype done, toys done, and a final product done. We have access to schools, and we already taught more than 3,000 students in Brazil. Our team is amazing. We have engineers, teachers, and designers, and also pedagogues. But why we are improving education? Because kids today are digital natives. They are bored because the traditional methods, it's not enough. The traditional methods not serve our kids well enough. And we created, what we do, we created a board to help children use digital things in classroom. So what we really do, we use toys to teach and learning assembly program and use with contents like maths, give some interactive skills, memory skills, something like that. And how do we compare with our competitors? We are cost effective, we are inexpensive, we have fun and special educative content, and our age range is 3 to 9 years old. It's a critical phase to learning. What do we deliver? So it's not just fun toys. We have a complete learning solution, and also we can monitor how each individual student it's learning, and we can deliver through a web platform. Automatically does analytics for teacher and parents understand how students are learning. And what's our go-to-market strategy? It's pretty easy. In this side, B2C, we sell direct to sales for parents to enjoy more quality life with their kids. And over there is B2B. We sell toy subscriptions for schools. we are looking for some fund and an investor to help us assembly in mass production and to make a great logistics in Brazil. So I'm very grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have a similar business to this. B2C is notoriously expensive. It's a tough market. It's a very competitive market. Sounds like you have something unique. So well done. In terms of the competition, what sort of competition do you have in Brazil? Is it, I mean, for example, these guys have a lot of the market, or is it there for the taking?
Okay, nice question. This is a global market, but in Brazil, doesn't exist a specific program for schools. So we are basically the first specific company to sell direct to schools in Brazil. But there are Lego, Mindstorms, and other companies based on Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Just I'm curious, how far are you in terms of traction? I think your distribution model makes sense, in particular going to private schools. I think that's clever. How far are you? Have you closed any deals and so forth?
Yeah, actually, we started in 2016, and we already had 23 schools in Brazil. 27 in 23 cities in São Paulo region, and we already taught more than 3,500 students. We are in this case with our new technology. We don't have any schools, but we have another ability to explore with them.
And so, how much does that translate to in terms of sales?
We think 6 months or so, but we are looking for something scalable to produce in mass and decrease the cost of the board and the toys.
Thank you. What is your strategy to scale?
Okay, we are thinking produce first the main board in scale, because it's easier to produce and sell, and then start to selling a specific toy. And for B2B market, it sell toys as subscription. We will improve another toys in 6 months or in each 6 months or a year, and that can be easy to scalable.
How quickly would you repay your investors' investment?
That's a good question, but we think in 2 years or 1 year and a half, because we already have the channels and we already had the market, so it can be easier to us explore this market.
But when you sell your product at sort of less than $30, what's the gross margin if you were to sell it not on a subscription basis?
The cost to produce one toy with one board together, it's $7 or $5, almost $5, and we are thinking something about 25% of all sales. But it's actually it's less than $30, but think that in 2,000 students plus multiplied by 100K schools in Brazil. So that's the idea.
Okay.
It's always a good sign when they have more questions, though. But thank you. Still no. I'm going to steal your notes. The secret formulas. Good job. Good job. Go this way. And give your mic to Fernando. Oops. Eimi. Next up, we have Eimi. Right there to the green, please. Aha. And we stole your clicker, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Bad Joe. All right, Eimi.
Okay. Okay. Hello, good morning. My name is Eimi. I'm a forest engineer, and I've worked with forest measurement for a couple of years. And this is a methodology that's very outdated. Actually, it's been done for the same way for at least 200 years. Well, the problem with this methodology is that it's very time-consuming, it's very expensive, has too many steps, so all the errors, they sum up, and it's very risky for workers. Well, daily, we faced dangerous animals every day as we were getting closer to the trees and where those animals usually are. So that happened quite frequently. Only in Brazil, we have 8 million hectares to be measured every year. That's a market of 10 million pounds, approximately. And worldwide, that number is even bigger. It's more than 1 billion hectares. Well, we came up with a solution that we got laser scannings into backpacks and scanned the forests. That permitted that we also could process the LiDAR data and measure the trees on our computer. So we reach out our clients through the main fairs, forestry fairs, and events that are related to our market. And also we keep our clients updated through our blog publications. So our data collection through our technology is 15 times faster and it's more safe, it's safer. The data transfer is very secure, and for that reliable data, the analysts can make reports even faster. So we've been through market validation through Gerdau Challenge, which is the biggest forestry challenge in Brazil. We also had 12 paid customers, and we've been in 2 big acceleration programs. Now we are looking for investment in order to get more clients and reach more countries. So for these 2 years, we got in contact with a provider which got discounts and partners to collect data and potential clients through the Confederation of Timber Industries. This is our team, which is composed, main team, which is composed by a CTO, a CEO, and a mentor. Thank you very much.
The market in your presentation at £10 million seems relatively small, but I appreciate it's just Brazil. Can the equipment do any other things other than measure position of the tree?
Yes.
What things can it measure?
Well, we are also going to silo for seeds and agricultural field, and production monitoring from sugarcane, soybean, and and corn.
And is this just measuring the location of each plant, or is it measuring the diameter of the stalk as well?
The tree, we measure the diameter. Actually, we measure the volume.
Okay.
For those other, the silo, we measure the volume of the silo with the seeds. And for sugarcane and soybean, we can, through the LiDAR statistics, we can make production maps. Mm-hmm. Production maps, monitoring production maps. Where do producers have to put more adubs? more nutrients, more water, or do any correction action. So that's the other applications as well.
Okay, and is the equipment light enough to put on a drone?
Yes, actually it already is.
Okay.
We just don't have the money to buy it.
Okay.
I have a very stupid question, but why is forest measurement important?
Well, we use like almost daily things that have timber in the production. So tables, papers, clothes, everything. And for these industries, the planning is very important because wood cannot miss in the fabric, in the industry. So this data is very important to planning, to management, and for forecast. So it has to be very precise. Okay.
It's a great idea. It's very simple
Yeah.
concept. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can branch out into so many different areas. It's not just, as you say, trees. It's
Yes.
other areas. Who's the competition? Who else does this?
Well, companies that do it the traditional way. So.
Okay. So nobody's
no.
doing it in your way, or
No, in the whole world, there is only two groups, which are study groups. So they don't go to the market. Yes.
And just one other question. In terms of, it sounds like Brazil has got a lot of trees. Who else has got a lot of trees in terms of countries?
Indonesia, Canada, USA, we got a lot. Portugal, this upper Europe.
Certainly a lot in Asia, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Just how much are you asking for? You didn't say.
Yes, it's £2 million to go to market and equipment, yes.
Thank you. And what proportion of the company are you offering for the 2 million?
Yes, the upper is 30% of our company, yes.
Okay.
Just a very quick final question. So the technology here, is that something you've taken off your shelf, put together, and then develop a software tool to do the reporting, or what's sort of the proprietary thing here? Or
Where do we like?
Yeah, no, I'm guessing because LiDAR technology and so forth, it's something that's been developed. I'm trying to understand whether you built the software and the technology.
Yes.
What's your unique value add?
Yes, we are in the whole chain, since the data collection until the report elaboration. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Fernando, the first of two Fernandos.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve.
Right.
Okay. Oh, okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Fernando. I'm an agronomist from Brazil, and I will talk to you about our device and automated sports collector for plant diseases management. Well, I don't know if you know about plant diseases, but they are happening in the world since a long time ago. As you can see here, the potato famine in 1845 has caused severe losses in Ireland, and it is still happening in this year, and it's still happening every year for different crops. So, why are we facing the same problems than 150 years ago? This is what we want to change. The plant diseases, they fly on the wind, and we want to catch them. We are catching with these devices, this here. As you can see, it's very simple, but the big problem is you need somebody very specialized to identify these spores, as you can see here. These are two different species. Our device is to identify, count, and say to the grower when is the right time to make the fungicide sprays. In the last season in Brazil, independent trials have shown 50% less fungicide sprays in an average of 195 farms. But with totally manual devices, and what we are doing is to automate them. We started this to make the device in April of this year, established partnerships with several cooperatives whom are our customer segment, and will open the market for the growers. We had the first commercial prototype in the last month, and we are doing the sports analyzer automation now. With all the knowledge from here, from the Royal Academy of Engineering, we intend to go to the market with a ready product in the next July. This is our team. I'm working with plant diseases from 10 years to now, and we are for 3 PhD, 1 master's, all agronomists. We have 2 mechatronics guys and several interns from different softwares or hardware areas. What we are looking for here is 250,000 pounds to finalize the prototypes, protect our intellectual property, go to sales and marketing worldwide, because plant diseases happens in almost every crop in the world. Also partnerships with crop protection companies and food security agencies. My name is Fernando. Here is my email and my phone. Thank you.
Thank you. There was a university competition in this very building about a month ago, set up by the Engineers in Business Fellowship, and the winner of the Lord Sainsbury Prize at that event was a company that counted and identified cells for researchers looking at doing cell counting, taking the laborious nature of that out.
Okay.
I think they have the technology that you need and could adapt into your application.
Yeah, for sure. They need it like in the lab, in the microscope.
Yeah, they were counting. So a researcher counts cells, takes hours to count the cells, and so on. They were doing this in 3 seconds, using digital images uploaded, and it strikes me that that's exactly what you need for this.
Yeah, this is exactly the point. Like collect the spores in the air is something simple.
Yeah.
But to identify them and count them is another huge job. But we have the knowledge in artificial intelligence, and we are already developing these algorithms.
Yeah. The thing is that in this industry of counting things and measuring things very fast using pictures, the technology is very well established in packaging analysis and so on. Have you gone out to look at manufacturers of standard equipment in this sector already?
Yeah. We found several sports collectors, but always without this part, exactly this part established.
No, I'm talking about the bit that you're missing, that you're going to spend the money on.
Yeah.
That is established already. So, for example, 20 years ago, I had a company where we bought equipment like that. We could count 30,000 bits of packaging going through our equipment an hour, and there are much higher speeds available. So I think it would be worth, as part of your next steps, looking at what exists already in terms of the software, digital analysis, and AI side of it.
Yes, there is different devices for doing it, but they are too expensive, and our cost is very lower than that. They're like super high level microscope and everything, but we don't need all these thousands and thousands of pounds for that. Okay. It's like the cost.
Oh, interesting. Could you elaborate a little bit more on the business model? Also, what's the potential cost savings using your product? What's the unit economics around that?
Yeah.
The value to the end user.
In this case, but you can see it's for several different crops. Each one is one story. In this case, it was 50% less sprays. It was 9.9 of the total cost of the crop was fungicide, and it decreased to 4.8 in this specific 108 farms average.
Hello, thank you. While you were seeking your partnerships with the first cooperatives, what is the first pushback or challenge that you encountered while trying to sell?
Actually, our huge challenge now is to get this product ready. because these guys of the cooperatives, they started to do this job before than us, but with the manual things. And when we showed, oh, we can make it automated. Wow, that's what we need. And then we went open. They opened the doors for us to go with them, and they will reach a lot of growers in their region, and then these growers can be our customers.
Right. Maybe afterwards you can grab Fernando and follow up on a little bit deeper what you're saying. Thank you, Fernando.
Thank you.
Our second Fernando. I just have to feel this real quick. Oh.
Yeah, it's the number 1. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. My name is Fernando, and I'm CEO of Eimi. So the problem that we are attacking is actually when people have to stand in industrial lines and check the quality of the material. So you might think how exhausting that is, and actually that's not a very good job to stand from 8 up to 12 hours a day just to see if there is any bad. And not just for people, actually when we look at Brazil's GDPs per capita, it's almost 1/5 of UK's, for example, and some of that is due to lack of automation. So the market size that we're talking about, which is vision computer systems, is approximately $1.4 billion worldwide, and it's growing at a rate of almost 10% a year. So how is our product? Actually, our product that you can have here is made of a high-speed vision sensor. We embedded this in a computer, and then we put artificial intelligence algorithms so it can recognize the quality of the lines. When you put all of this together, you have what we call the smart vision camera. So as you might see here, we have a really robust industrial equipment that has all of its components itself. You don't need any computer, you don't need any other hardware, you just put on the line and you can set up within 2 days actually. So far we have several big major clients in industries such as Unilever, Nestlé, Eaton, Nexa Resources, and so far. Here are some pictures of the equipment on the field applications, and I'd like to show you 3 user cases. Here is in a biscuit factory where the system can learn how the quality of the biscuits are going, and we can control this. Here are some orange juice producer. We can check for the orange quality and also see how everything is done. And here you have some eucalyptus seedling control. Well, so far we've achieved $240K this year in revenue, which is 65 increase. We have almost 400K in grants also. The 4 partners of the company have been working together since college. And we have over 140K hours of commitment to this company. We are responsible for more than 14 professionals now. We have had summer meetings here. And what we are looking for actually now is some sales partners and distributors in the UK, because our technology is ready and we just want to sell it. And well, Brazil has long been back in the industrial scenario, and we are trying to make the next industrial revolution together. Thank you very much.
Very quickly, do you have patents on this?
No, I haven't.
Are you going to do that in terms of the technology?
Actually, no. Our secrecy now is just industrial.
Okay.
We're not looking for patents right now.
And if you go back to the financials, I think you are you're not aiming big enough. You can get to higher than a 900K in 2 years. This is it's a great opportunity.
Really? I'd love you to help me.
I will.
Thank you. You said you're looking for sales distributors in the UK. Mm-hmm. Do you have competition here?
Yes, we do. Unfortunately. So as the gentleman said, there is this kind of technology for the last 30 years or so far. So we have some huge companies here, like Cognex and Kinsey. They are developing smart cameras, which are not quite like ours, but they are in the market, and they are market leaders. So Cognex here is a $7 billion company, USA company, and Kinsey is a $70 billion company from Japan. So yes, we do have loads of competition, but in Latin scenario, there is a lack of those guys because it's too expensive, for example. Sorry.
So why don't you focus more in LATAM instead of trying to break into the UK market?
That's what we are doing now. We're going to Peru, but as we are here, I think would do no harm if we look for partners.
Thanks.
So, well, maybe tell us a little bit about the sales process. You have quite an impressive range of partners by the looks of it. So how's the sales process, the sales cycle, and so forth? Just to understand a little bit better.
That's quite a big answer, but I'll try to resume. Yeah. We have a sales process of 60 days. We have 3 sales guys on the streets. And what we do, we get leads from LinkedIn, and then we shoot emails for emails. And then depending on the answer, we do sales trips, and then we do demonstrations, and then the sales. Really short answer, but it's pretty much this.
And how much does one of these boxes cost?
From 9 up to 15,000 pounds.
Okay. And
the final solution. It's tapped in the client.
Okay, so I mean, I'm looking at your ticks and crosses there on that. I've been a Cognex customer before, and we did have local support. We had some data analytics that we put in ourselves or asked them about. The key thing for me is not so much any of those apart from the top row.
All right.
Low implementation cost.
All right.
And I would say that your business plan is probably flawed.
All right.
And I say this in the nicest possible way, but you're trying to make a lower cost item than your competitors who already have large economies of scale. Mm-hmm. Where I think your business plan would be fantastic is if you offered a collaborative approach with your customer. Mm-hmm. So for example, you gave this to your customer for free, okay, and then you said, you give me 50% of the benefits for the first 3 or 4 years. All right. And obviously, if there are no benefits, you don't get paid. Mm-hmm. But there's no upfront capital cost. Okay. Now, your huge advantage is if you are significantly lower cost than your competitors, they can't do that. Mm-hmm. And I've seen this done in service industries and in industries where the product margins are very good, which I assume they are quite good here.
Yes, they are.
So you don't need to, it doesn't cost you $15,000, it costs you maybe $1,000. Mm-hmm. So if you think about how long it's taking you to get a product into the market, 60 days is too long. You need to be able to go to the customer and close that deal within 2 weeks.
Yes.
Much, much shorter. And you can only do that by offering the product for free and then sharing the benefits. Mm-hmm. And I think if you take that marketing approach, you will suddenly see stratospheric growth. Mm-hmm. And you'll be able to expand that into other countries where your competitors are not able to do that.
It looks like you know a lot of this industry. Yeah. And it would also be lovely to have you as a partner or a mentor or something.
And
thank you.
With that, I'd like to thank Fernando. And everybody's quite hot in here and everybody's quite thirsty, so I think we should take the opportunity for a 5-minute break, please. Please be very prompt, and in those 5 minutes you can ask him about becoming a partner, Fernando. Oh, take it away.
Thank you. Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Gabriel from Brazil. I'm the founder of the company Vert. It's a startup that are bringing to the market innovations on healthcare, mainly using green chemistry. And the first product I will show to you, it's a liquid wound plaster. It's called Sprayed, and it was developed based on my personal experience. I was always engaged with accidents involving outdoor sportings that caused most times big big skin abrasions. And I was using most times those plasters available in the marketing that was very uncomfortable when we had to remove. So we have developed a liquid plaster that can be sprayed onto the skin surface, creating a film that protects the wound from external elements and even from infections. This film is breathable, causes no damage to the scar, it's hypoallergenic, and the key benefits is that there is no limit of surface area, you can just spray it, and it's also washable. So you can have a much more comfortable healing process. So we are targeting potential users like children. They are very active, and the traditional plasters are not too flexible. Outdoor sports people that usually have a big abrasions that traditional plasters don't work. And also motorbikers. In São Paulo City, for example, there is about 100 accidents involving motorbikes each day. And also diabetics. There is about 12 million diabetic people in Brazil. So it's a big market. So our plan is to outsource the manufacture process and the packaging as well, and then sell our product to the customers in drug stores and surgical stores. That's very popular in my place. So in last March, we got a grant of $50K US. So we developed this year, we developed product. We had 2 weeks training on business modeling, and then next steps will be working on IP, regulatory approval, and launch product December 2021. Our team is composed by me. I'm a pharmacist, PhD in chemistry. I have 10 years experience in this field. My partner has good financial and business skills, and he had created 5 big companies in Brazil and 1 chemical engineering. So we are looking for a grant funding of about $150K US and sales and market expert. Thank you very much.
So the technology behind this, presumably it's a secret formula of some sort, or?
Yeah, we have developed this formula, and our team is working to do the intellectual property and
if you
patenting as well.
If you put this into an aerosol, how much of the secret formula needs to go in the aerosol? Is it 100% or is it an additive?
According to our regulatory agency for health in Brazil, we can put we should declare on the label about 98% of the components. So is it possible to
reverse engineer?
Yeah, to hide something or missing some key components on the label.
Okay, and are there products like this already anywhere in the world?
There is some, especially here in UK, but it's a different technology. They are hydrophobic. They do not dissolve in water. So our product is completely different. The key difference is that you can rinse off with water. very comfortable, clean it up, and put another application.
So if you sweat, how do you know that you've still got it on your skin?
It's a good question. It is a good question. If you sweat too much, you have to clean up again, clean up the body, the part of the body, and dry it and put another application.
Okay. And if you go out in the rain, have you got the same problem?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe tell us a little bit about the cost of this,
Yeah, we are too early stage. We are still doing the pricing it. It's one of the tasks for the next stage. And for instance, they're all cheap components. Most of them are food grade components. So,
is there a price point you need to get to realistically get this into the market? Because there's alternatives now. They might not be as good, but is there a price point you're targeting?
Yeah, we are targeting about $5, $5 or 5 maybe pounds per can.
1 minute.
So you mentioned that you want to sell this in pharmacies and surgical something stores.
Surgical stores, yeah.
How hard it is to get your product in there?
That's a good question. This is why we are looking for a sales and a marketing expert. Our plan is to engage some early adopters, and then we have to do a branding work before reaching those markets. It's a very competitive market in big scale. Thank you.
All right. Come, Mr. Gabriel. And hand off to the next Gabriel. Give him the. All right, I'll give it to him.
2 Fernandos and 2 Gabriels.
2 Fernandos, 2 Gabriels. But this one was born ready. All right.
How can I?
Can we
How can
expand that?
How can I do it?
Can
someone? Yeah.
They'll figure it out for you. They'll figure it out. All right.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Perfect.
Okay.
Can I
Take it
start?
away. Go for it.
Hey everybody, my name is Gabriel. I'm sales coordinator at Chip2Ship, and I'm honored to be here to present to you our startup. That's a software to negotiate domestic and international freight. So per year in Latin America are negotiated more than 107 millions of shipments, which is a 60 billion pound market. And 95% of this volume are traded by email, phone calls, or WhatsApp. And how this freight is negotiated nowadays? First, the purchasing analysts send an email for their freight forwarders, wait them an answer. After he gets an answer, he needs to consolidate all this information in an Excel spreadsheet and do a lot of math, spread, converting to see what's the best offer and start to negotiate price. So this process takes many days and happens 10, 50, 100 times per month, generating many problems such as high cost, low compliance level, and no management visibility at all. That's why we created Chip2Ship. So we automatize all this process to focus on the negotiation with the reverse bidding. And that's why we have more than 25 customers in Brazil, like Renault, Marco Polo, Sandvik, and Andritz. And these customers chose us because on average, we achieve 15% lower cost due to the reverse bidding, 90% less time recurred per transition, and all this negotiation in compliance with FCPA and Brazilian law anti-corruption to leverage existing supplier relationships. Today, we are a SaaS business model, and our price is tailor-made by the volume and the complexity of the operation. And I'm proud to say that from February to November of 2019, we grew more than 900%. And in UK, we developed a detailed go-to-market internationalization strategy, expand first to Portuguese countries, and then translate the app to other language, first in English and Spanish, and learn an excellent technique to engage investors before needing an additional round. And that's why I'm here, because I'm looking to meet investors that are interested in SaaS business, because we plan to start fundraising at the end of Q1 of 2020. And that's it, Chip to Ship, proudly made in Brazil from the world.
You were the fastest one so far. 30 seconds left.
Wow!
I know a little bit about this business. So just so I'm clear, this is a software product. So you are a software vendor.
Yeah.
And you demonstrated it, or you showed a picture of a man with an app or a person with an app.
No.
It's on an iPad. No. This is not.
No, it's a site.
It's a website, and it's a SaaS model.
Yeah, we charge a subscription to you from your customers.
Okay. And you've done. And what's the valuation on $1 million?
We already finished fundraising, and our valuation are estimating 16 million reals. Reais.
4 million US?
6 million, sorry. 6 million.
Dollars. US dollars.
No. Dollars, it's about $2 million.
Okay. And what are you going to spend the money on?
What?
What are you going to spend the money on?
I don't know, because we already started but we are looking for develop other products, and we improve our marketing and sale and start the internationalization, because we want to start with the Portuguese countries to validate this product in other countries, and after that expand to Latin America and start in Europe by Portugal, and after that expand for all the Europe.
So just go back to your financials. What I didn't understand.
Here?
Okay, so
No.
That's your revenue there, yeah?
Yeah, the MRR.
And what's that in dollars? That's in pounds, okay. So you've got £4,000 revenue per month. And what are your costs running at? What's your overhead? What's your total spend? What are you burning every month in money?
Our costs are very... we don't have many costs, because the software is already finished, and we have the...
Do you pay yourself a salary?
I pay?
Yeah.
No, I'm not a co-founder, but I receive a
salary. Okay, so if you look at the costs of the company,
yeah, it's just
salary,
people and
how much is that per month?
About 30,000 reais.
30,000 pounds.
Yeah, no, about 5,000.
Okay,
pounds.
so you got £5,000 a month is your cost.
Yeah.
And that's everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to break even next month.
We expect.
Yeah. So why do you need the money?
No.
Why do you need $1 million?
We need $1 million for the next year. We are looking to start the relationship with new investors. So we need this money to build other products, because this product that is already finished is for spot negotiation, case by case.
Yeah.
And we need to start a product that is for contracts, big contracts, you know?
No, I understand that. What I don't understand is what you're presenting is a product and a company that exists. You have sales, and you're about to break even based on your current costs.
Yeah.
And I would assume that you're pitching here because the market in this sector is big.
Yeah.
Therefore, why wouldn't you not just continue doing what you're doing with that product and make more and more money, and then get the investment internally and then reinvest those profits in your new products that way? I just don't understand why you need $1 million.
Okay, thank you for the tip.
Okay.
Good day.
You're saying you can do it all on your own.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you.
Sit up. Okay, next up is João with Yak, and he's going to show you his incredible electric tractor.
Right? Okay. Hi everyone, I'm João Ozório from Yak Tractors, Brazil. I would like to start talking a little about me, this guy between the axes. I was born in a small farm in Brazil, and I spent almost my entire life keep in touch with agriculture and machinery from agricultural work. And with this experience, I can say that existing tractors are really inefficient because the fuel and transportation is really expensive. We must store this fuel in a special tank that expends a lot of money. And they have a complex engine with frequency and maintenance. Basically, existing tractors cost about 6% more than they should. And they are polluting the environment. But don't worry, we can change this reality with our full electric tractors that can be used for farmers, airports, and big industry to transport heavy loads. In this case, one client in Brazil that used to transportation. And with our tractor, basically, we have less breakers, less maintenance, and no fuel. We can say that we save more than 70% of all the cost for new tractors. This little bit about our traction. We already have some sales. It's our pilot test. And in the next 2 years, we are getting ready to scale our production and sales. The market size worldwide is about $120 billion. In Europe, we have a really good opportunity. It's our 4th largest market. This is our team. We have 2 electrical engineers, mechanical engineer, I'm a product designer. We have some sales guy and an angel and mentor investor. We are raising $1 million, basically to sales and marketing. We need to scale our team too. And a little bit about research and development, and maybe one partner here in UK to sell our products. So this is Yak Tractor. Thank you very much.
We have 40 seconds left. Oh. You're the new leader.
I'm not sure if it's good, but...
Do you want to use it, or should we ask questions?
Questions.
Who are the competitors?
Oh, the competitors?
Tesla aren't going into this, are they?
Today doesn't have tractors players who are developing electric tractors. I can say that we are not the first, but maybe I think the first in Brazil, in the entire world, I don't know. But electric tractors, I can see that we are first going to the market now.
First worldwide? Surely there must be other people doing this, no? Not that you're aware of, anyway. No. Okay, good, great.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm just curious, like, do you guys have manufacturing facilities? How do you produce these, and how do you, I mean, are you looking to outsource that, or?
Oh yes, we use our partners in Brazil. We don't have our own plant, and we don't plan to do this in the next few years because it's a really expensive amount to deliver one fabric, one manufacturing.
Can you go back to the pie charts? So, no.
Oh, where?
The sale,
oh,
that one, so 30%. And then can you go back to the one that you sold 4 units and the revenue?
Oh, here?
That one, okay. So 3 units, $50,000. So 30% of your request is going to go to sales and marketing. What channels do you plan to use to grow those numbers?
Currently, we are looking for direct sales. We don't believe that's a good way to use a distributor or something like this because they take 30% of our margin, and electric tractors is more expensive than the normal tractor, and it's a way to reduce the costs. And for now, it's our strategy.
And are all these units standard, so it's one type of tractor, or you have different types of tractors?
So they will only have one type. The research and development, it's been expanded to develop a new model and our intelligence software that will connect all this tractor with our center to provide maintenance and parts remotely without have a big structure of maintenance.
Data will be huge. The data will be a big part of the deal. Yeah.
Can you go back to the previous slide, the one with the numbers that you're going to sell?
Oh, here?
That one, yeah. So you're asking for $1 million, and then you've got revenues of 300 and 800. When you get to 800,000 in revenues, what is the profit on that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yes, in the next 2 years we are not looking for profit. We are getting
what's the gross profit on that then?
The gross profit is about 35%.
About 35%. And so you're about a third, so it's going to be about 250,000.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Well, your gross profit there is 250,000 on those sales. And what's your overhead is what over this period of time? What is your overhead?
Oh, we don't see overhead in this period of time.
You have no overhead.
Your costs.
Oh, my cost.
Your costs, your salaries, your building.
Okay. The cost is about 35,000 pounds per month.
Per month.
Yeah.
So by the end of 2021, the $1 million that you raised today will be gone.
Oh yes, we need a new.
You'll need another fundraise.
Yes,
so that's not a particularly compelling argument for the $1 million, because you're basically saying, I'm raising $1 million now, I'm going to spend it all at the end of 2021. Yes, I will have sold 40 units, but the money will be gone.
Oh yes.
And the revenue coming through is not enough after 2 years. So something is wrong with the business model.
Okay.
The margin on the tractor is too small at 35%. It needs to be more like 60 to 70. And you need to work on the design and the costing to do that. Because otherwise it's quite difficult. It's quite a difficult investment ask.
Okay.
You know, a lot of capital equipment is sold either at very low margins because they make a lot of money in servicing, but you don't make any money in servicing because your product is so reliable, so you can't do that. So you have to actually make the money up front. So you either have to rent it, so you build it yourself and then rent it and get a larger income, or you have to make much more money when you're selling it. So you need to work on the cost profile quite a lot.
We discussed some leasing,
Yeah.
and he's going to look into that. Thank you very much, Al. Let's go this way. Lucas! Oh, yes. Give the clicker to Lucas. Lucas.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, we talked about that one. That's a good one.
All right. Morning, everyone. I'm Lucas, and I work by blowing things up. Basically, I try to break them down as little as possible. And the reason I do that is because when we get to that kind of size, weird things start to happen. And we get different properties, we get different kind of activities from certain materials, and that actually has a lot of value. What I'm talking about is not small as in powder, but it's actually like smaller than a virus. Those are called nanoparticles. And those kind of magic powders, they can actually increase your product's properties. You can add new properties such as antimicrobial properties or anti-UV radiation. And those applications actually work in a lot of different areas. We've done projects in paints, for example, that will keep your house cool during the summer days, and in t-shirts, which will kill bacteria, so you won't have that smell, you won't need to wash them as much. But those are pretty common markets. What we are aiming for, and this is what Leaf has helped us a lot during these 2 weeks, is to actually focus on a single segment, because we were trying to do everything and then we weren't doing nothing. And looking at marketing segmentation business model, we're trying to go for pharmaceutical or medical devices, such as cancer diagnosis and treatment through nanoparticles, or nanosensors that can actually read your blood and tell us whether you have diabetes or not. Those are high health and social impact kind of applications, and they have a high aggregated value, which fits more with our kind of technology right now. Companies know they need this, and there's a gap between the lab and the industry, because those industries, they don't know how to apply it. They want to have it in their products, but they don't have the people, the machines, or the time to actually produce the nanoparticles. And that's not even their core business. This will be our core business, and they've been coming to us. We've been having inbound leads for these kind of industries for a long time. Basically, our team is composed of engineers. We have Moises and Edson, who are the founders, and they're the ones who actually got the idea. And here in Leaf, we've been figuring out, we've got a couple of grants and paid pilots and projects in our pipeline, but those are not in the industries we want to work on. We've tried those, and they're not our main business. And therefore, we developed some business model for pharma and medical industries where we do consultancy, we get our revenue, we work our stuff up, and then we get enough knowledge and portfolio to actually direct sell to them. Then we can replicate this method to other companies. What we're asking in other markets, what we're asking for here is a pilot project or grant collaboration in this industry. So R&D people, product managers, and innovation managers in companies that might be interested in actually using nanotechnology in their products. And we've already done a little bit of this. We have some first collaborations and talk with universities and companies here, but we're looking for any kind of introduction to this specific market, which has a huge value and a lot of possibilities for us to work in. Thank you.
You should see his video. He actually
Yeah, I
has a video
thought I had
of a
the
laser
video
blowing
here, yeah.
stuff up.
This was supposed to be my PPT because it actually I have this, right? So it shows this, how I actually blow up stuff and how I actually transform them into really, really tiny particles.
So I'm clear, the problem that you're solving is by blowing it up, you're breaking it down to such a level that it's easier to solve.
Yeah.
That's
and
your
they actually, they add new properties such as regular t-shirts, they are not in the microbial. If we break down silver small enough, we can add that to their process and it's gonna be on the t-shirt, it's gonna actually...
And where you're headed is obviously medical and...
pharmaceutical.
And
yes.
so if I've got contacts at GSK or Pfizer, who do you want there? You want the head of R&D?
Yeah, or usually those bigger companies, they have an innovation sector,
okay.
Not just an R&D, and they usually have open innovation grants, so they want to solve cancer diagnosis. And
you're not, you don't want the NHS?
The NHS would be a perfect client for my clients, because I'm not doing the actual end use application. I'm selling the particles to someone who's doing the sensors, who's doing those t-shirts.
Southampton University have a cancer research center with a lot of resources. I think you should talk to them about that.
Which university, sorry?
Southampton University.
Southampton?
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll introduce you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds good, because like I said, I'm not the one who actually does the pharma, but I'm going to sell to those research labs and those companies that build the actual medicine, and they use my platform, my kind of knowledge to actually produce those. So those are perfect clients for.
What can you do with long chain polymers like polypropylene, polyethylene, PET, typical packaging materials?
Yeah, so for packaging materials, we haven't seen applications in me processing the plastic, but I can process other materials, oxides, metals, and even organic compounds. So actually put it into the matrix of the polymer, and you can make it conductive, you can make it O2 protective, so the food inside the packaging is not going to get spoiled. We can do sensors that are going to show if there was spoilage in the food. So we don't work on the polymer, but we work on adding ingredients or other particles to it.
So on the conduction side, what sort of level of conduction can you get? Can you get close to the conduction of aluminium, or are you way off that?
I would need to actually look into it. We have seen, and there is actually a company in Brazil that came to us to produce conductive paints.
Yeah.
And for a number of applications, they do electric motors. And they came to us with a proposition. So we need this material, and we need this conductivity. And we've looked it in research and into papers, academic papers, and we can get close to what a regular metal would look like. I can't tell you if aluminum or not. I would have to actually.
But you'll get back to them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, do. Yeah.
Usually we're trying to make something that's not conductible. Yeah. So getting to like aluminum or gold level of conductivity, it's not that easy, but we can actually make it conductive so it has a little bit of conduction.
And can you change the barrier properties of the plastic?
Yeah.
Right? You can?
Yeah. Using a number of different elements so that oxygen won't get in, or the carbon dioxide won't get out, or will get out.
Well, if you could do that, that's an absolutely massive market.
For plastics and packaging, right?
Yeah, plastics and packaging, because it's a holy grail for many, many companies in that sector.
That's on our radar, one of the pilots.
So he wants to go into health, but if you can help him break into that market to fund his health, he won't say no.
No, so the good thing about this is that this consultancy can be made in a number of different markets, right? So I would love to talk more about that. I have some contacts in those areas that can
I think at
help
the break
us.
you should grab him.
Yeah, I will.
All
I'll
right.
grab him right now if you let me.
No. But speaking of networking, the next Lucas is getting my award for this list for the best networker, and he'll tell you why. Lucas, come on up.
Thank you, Steve. Good morning, everyone. My name is Lucas, and I came here to present Comando. We are a company, a technological-based company in Brazil, and we are helping farmers to be more profitable in Brazil. Winning this will actually help us to increase our sales and keeping our vision of a more connected agriculture in Brazil. So basically, I was always the kid. When I was a child, I wasn't all for agriculture, but I went to engineering. And learning about engineering, I saw the difficulties, especially for farmers, because without measurements, you don't have control. You can control things, especially in the agricultural sector when you have open areas. And the main problem for Brazilian producers is that the increase of changes in the weather, and especially with the lack of infrastructure that we have in Brazil, specific for weather stations, that makes farmers less productive and less profitable, actually, than farmers in other countries. So what we decided to do was an integrated solution. That means integrating hardware, software, and a platform that we can process the data and gather information about the weather and distribute this as an advice with help from agronomists for making the farmers more profitable. So basically what we do, we sell this product, this entire kit for farmers, and we install a simple infrastructure in their farms. So our target segment as agriculture in Brazil is like a 200 billion pound market, so it's very big. We actually went through the most profitable farmers in Brazil, the most productive. So orange grow is the most profitable crop in Brazil, actually. And we actually doing this by testing with co-ops, especially, for doing more than just B2C sales, but doing also B2B sales. So basically Brazil is the biggest producer of oranges right now, and even with that, they have this gap in profitability compared to other countries. So we already have this strategy. We are growing organically. We have grants, and we actually looking for working more with the wholesalers for increase this production, this grow that we are having. We have 2 people in the team, so it's a very short team. We actually are very connected with companies that help us with the other parts that we don't have. And about our traction, we have already got some grants in Brazil. We have 9 direct sales that we made, and basically our best results is the UK progress that we made. We have made 5 contacts with companies here in the UK. 3 we are already closing a partnership. UAL, University of East London, they are buying our product right now. And 2 companies, 2 specifically in agriculture. Basically, one company wants to buy our product to sell in other countries, and one of them wants to be our mentor. So what we are looking for is to increase this number of free partners, especially in the strategic market. And, well, choosing me will help us to make farmers more profitable in Brazil.
Does this work in other sectors like wine, grape production?
Yeah, we're actually looking for that market because they are the most profitable. So we already, these partnerships that we are doing here in the UK, basically they are for opening doors outside of Brazil. So looking for more profitable crops because we actually can use the system for the controlling irrigation systems, not just for prediction of some diseases, but actually for controlling the entire process of irrigation for a farmer.
And have you looked at the Florida market for orange juice?
Yeah, we are looking actually for the Spain market for orange juice. The Brazilian market is actually the most, for us, is the most easier one because we're already selling for farmers in Brazil, orange farmers. But we actually, what we want to do is like grow a bit more muscle for going out to Brazil, But as we are nimble, we are actually looking for the possibility of already going outside of Brazil.
Okay, because what you could do is you could approach the large companies like PepsiCo. Their Tropicana division is a huge purchaser. And one of the things they suffer from is price fluctuations in the orange market. If you have a bad harvest, then it really hits their profits. They're based in Bradenton in Florida, and it might be worth talking to them.
If you have the contact, I will be pleased to have.
Can you just tell me a bit about the UEL? Why have they bought it?
Actually, they want to, for marsh areas, they are doing a recovery of these areas because they are very depleted here in the UK. And the system that they already got for measuring the soil is not good enough for what they need to do. So as our system is more automatically than the system that they already got, they are purchasing the system for doing a batch. Basically what they said, if you are a UK company, I'll be already closing a deal with you and using grants that they got from research.
Measuring the marsh?
We are measuring the amount of water available in the soil. So with that, they can measure how much the tide is varying in these areas. Basically,
There's huge potential in that.
Yeah.
What's the name of that company in the UK with the happy faces and the smoothies and the juices?
Oh, Innocent.
Oh, yeah, that one. So I know that they do a lot of, they buy a lot of fruits for the smoothies in Latin America specifically, and they also have people that negotiate this kind of, well, yeah, the crops and stuff. So you should also try to approach them. I have no contacts, but
Okay,
I know
perfect.
they do it.
Thank you.
I'm just curious, what other solutions are there? If this is such a big issue for producers, there must be other trying to address this problem.
Yeah, we are looking more, our strategic is basically, especially on gathering these clients. So we are going for co-ops, especially because they have a better contact with the farmers. Because mainly the entire, the adoption curve is already changed for the end. So we have 70% of the farmers that will actually get our product or any agriculture product, they are on the late stage. So what we are doing is try to move this. So a lot of the other companies are also doing it. So using this co-ops as a way for getting the best information for the farmers available is one of the things that we are doing for try to keep up with the competition, specifically because we are a small company. So.
Do you have a last question?
Just a point.
For sure.
You're wanting to raise 25K?
No, actually, I just...
you've done?
Okay. Yeah, that's our grants. Actually, we're not looking at this moment because we are very small, but we growing a bit more muscle. I think probably next year we'll be probably going for a VC or something like that, yeah.
So, sorry, just to, the product measures moisture in the ground.
Yeah.
So if it rains, you can measure how much the ground will absorb?
Yep. I actually measure is like a 5 deep sensor. So we measure in 5 different dips. So we measure how much water is flowing from the top to the bottom. So if there is a thunderstorm or something like that, a very quick rain, they will drain over the surface, will not go to the soil. We can measure that, exactly that.
Okay, but let's say you were worried about flooding.
For sure.
You could measure the soil beforehand, before it rained,
Yeah.
to see what, I think you should talk to the flooding agency in the UK.
For sure.
It's a major problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Good idea. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Good idea. Osmar.
Thank you.
Flooding.
Hello, good morning. My name is Osmar. I'm a co-founder of Buying Food. I've been working with yeasts for the last 15 years. So this is my expertise, and I'm passionate about that. Yeasts are used in a variety of segments, such as bakeries, biofuels, and animal feed. But they are treated as a commodity because those companies would use a large amount of yeasts. In Brazil, we can say that there is only one company that offers one yeast for all purpose. I'm talking about the bakery sector. So if the companies want to achieve a high efficiency, they need to use more yeast. So more yeast is more cost for the company. So we can solve that in 2 ways. First, we use our deep knowledge in yeast and fermentation to custom-made yeasts according to the customer's demands. Breeding or genetic engineering yeasts, we can combine in a specific strain different kinds of characteristics, such as flavors, vitamins, and fermentative performance, and so on. And also, once we are not a yeast manufacturer, we are a yeast designer, we provide for our customers a system where they can produce their own yeast in-house. So they will produce a fresh, tailor-made yeast, reducing significantly their costs, standardizing the process and adding a value to the final product. And with this, for this, we charge a fee for its customization, that the process before, and an annual fee for use of our solution. The global market is quite big. In Brazil, in the bakery is the main sector. As we are in the early stage, we decided to start with the bakery segment, and in the biscuits, because it's a small, they use less yeast. Our estimated revenue for the next 5 years is, for the year 5, is $30 million. It's starting with biscuits and then with bread. So we are in contact with the largest Brazilian company that we validate our product. Next year we start a 4-month run with them, and we estimate to start the operation in 2021. This is our team. We have over 30 combined years in the industry experience, and we are here to ask an investment to accelerate our company. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeast.
And you say you're working with the largest biscuit manufacturer in Brazil?
Yes, the largest.
Phenomenal, well done.
Then,
Great achievement.
yeah.
And can we just go back to that slide?
This one?
Yeah. And what's the process going forward with them? Are you doing a proof of concept?
Yes, we designed a specific yeast for them, and with this yeast we reduce the 40% of the dosage they use currently. And the next year we will install a propagation yeast for them and run during 4 months. They have 4 units in Brazil. So we do in the all units.
Just maybe a point for you. Can you actually tell me a dollar figure that you're saving them per year?
For this company, for 1 unit, they will save. They spend today $1 million, and they will save $500. Sorry, 50% of this $1 million. 50,000. Sorry.
No, wait, 500,000.
500,000.
500,000.
50%.
They'll pay them back in 2 years.
Yes. Actually, it's 5 years because they need to build the propagation system. We will not. It's not our propagation system. We will only design the propagation systems and teach them how to propagate, and they will build the propagation system by their own, with their money.
You need a bit of help on that. We'll talk to you a bit later.
Okay. Thank you.
So on that point, I'm a bit confused because you said something about an annual fee, right? So I assume you want to charge this fee every year for the propagation. I don't know.
Yes.
So how, if you're going to teach them how to make it, what guarantees that they will continue to pay?
Sorry, I didn't explain. We will calculate this based on the current cost that they have with yeast. So let's imagine that today they spend $1 million per year. So we will charge a percentage of the cost savings using our technology. So 10% more or less. So 50K per year with this solution for this unit.
Then as time passes by, the cost savings you will reduce it so that
we will pay in the contract the current
okay.
expanded in yeast. And also we will sell the starter because they need a starter every time, but it's small quantity, but we will sell that. And for the other components, the custom-made design process that takes like 4 months or 6 months, like a consultants.
Pretty sure they're going to give you some free biscuits too.
Probably. How do you think about scaling this? So it's obviously there's some you need to invest in new equipment. It's a process. How does this scale? So now you've figured out how to do this for biscuits, and can you then do it for all biscuits across the globe? Like, just how do you scale this business?
Yes, we intend to as I mentioned, maybe it's not so clear. We will not build the propagation system, so we will sell the customization, and then we will give them an engineering project to build their own propagation system. So they hire a company that will build the propagation system for them. So our scale up it's.
But you still have to sell it, so
Yeah.
your customer
Yes.
has to do it.
But to address this point before we finish with the
Sorry.
last one, can you go into breads and every other sort of baked good and go into the market of bread and, yeah? Like, your market is big?
You develop the custom yeast for this specific product, which can then be used for other similar products in other markets with other manufacturers and so forth.
Yeah. He can. We talked about it anyway.
I bet.
How revolutionary is your yeast compared to, say, yeast that's being made in the UK or in Germany or France? Is the expertise that you're bringing to this new, or does it already exist in European countries or in the US? So if the same Brazilian manufacturer making biscuits was in the US or in Europe, would they also already have $1 million bill for yeast?
I think so.
What's the difference?
I came here to figure out how the ecosystem of the European ecosystem works in these segments. And as yeast is a commodity, they use one yeast for all purpose. And we imagine that we can, if we deliver a design yeast with a propagation system, I think we believe that the benefits will be the same for them. Okay, thank you.
All right. Wow. Paula. Woo. I was kind of hoping he was going to bring us some biscuits, but all right.
Okay. So every year in the world, 2 million women are diagnosed with breast cancer. And this leads to more than 50,000 deaths in Brazil alone. I am Paula Fortes. I'm founder of Alba Sensors and Diagnostics, a medtech company which uses the exhaled breast to perform the screen test of breast cancer. A couple of years ago, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and since then, I spent a lot of time in the hospitals, and there I learned all the issues that are related to this kind of diagnosis. And one of them that called much my attention is that just 1/3 of the women, Brazilian women that should perform the screen test for the breast cancer, today's the mammography, have access to it. So why? The reasons for that are geographic distance, cultural and religious issues, and fear of feeling pain of the exam. Normally, to have this test, she has to go to a physician for a first appointment until she is referred to perform a mammogram. But the time between these two events can take up to 12 months. Okay. And this is a big problem if you consider that you increase the possibility of a late diagnosis. With our solution, we intend to reduce this timing for up to 1 month, because we can create a sense of urgency to those women come and perform the mammogram. Our test, it's non-invasive, it's portable and painless. For that, she has to use a mask and breathe normally for about 15 minutes, and a couple of minutes later she will get the results. While she's breathing, we collect the exhaled breath, and so we could analyze the biomarkers that are related to the breast cancer. Initially, we intend to sell our test to private clinics, so when they offer this test, more mammograms will be required in the companies, and also partnerships with insurance health. So far, we had 2 grants innovation, 1 investment and a patent. And what we got here from the LEAF program is that I got to know some fellows and the research that could be potential partners. Our team, I have 2 co-founders, specialists in marketing, sales, and product development. And we're looking for investments to run our clinical trial and carry on our prototype development. That's it.
What's the performance of the prototype so far? So how many false positives do you have versus a mammogram?
So we are about to start our clinical trial, the pilot one. So we are still in the proof of concept. I can give you this information in a couple of months, probably.
Okay, that'd be interesting to
but
find.
The goal is to reach precise exams in the same level of the mammographies.
And what makes you think you can reach that?
There are a lot of evidence in the medicine and also in the scientific research on that it points that it's possible. It's a matter of making this relation, you know, from the biomarkers to the disease it represents, and then it's a technological challenge, you know, to assemble a prototype that would have these features. Yeah.
Please use the mic very quick because we're picking the sound up for the.
So the ladies breathe out, and you can tell. From there.
While they breathe, I collect the exhaled breath, you know. And after that, we make this analysis, yeah.
Can you do it for other forms of testicular cancer, prostate cancer?
Yes, so far we can identify roughly 10 diseases, so lung cancer, colon cancer, pulmonary diseases in general, asthma, diabetes. So there are a couple of diseases that can be, and then to reach that, so another clinical trial we need to run. And
just one final question, in terms of competition, other people are doing this?
Yes, there are around 10. Most of them are universities and research groups, but companies, 2. One is UK company, yeah. But available for, for a screen test or diagnosis, none of them yet. So it's a field that requires a lot of research. So yeah.
There's 2 companies I'll hook you up with. There's an organization in the States, which is basically women, rich women have come together and they've formed an investor syndicate, but they only invested in women-founded ideas. And there's an IP group here in the UK, which is a listed organization that invests in this type of thing. You should look at.
Okay, would be nice. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. You mentioned private clinics are kind of your target audience as well as insurance companies.
Yes.
How about all these companies that manufacture medical equipment like 3M and I don't know, Johnson & Johnson?
So it's also a possibility too, but so we thought that would be, so we are a little bit far to commercializing this solution, right? But for now, we thought that it would be interesting starting from that because they are more smaller companies, you know, maybe it's easy to reach them. But it's also a possibility, not just, let's say, from 3M, but all the pharma companies, because they can use these tests, for example, to evaluate the trials from medicaments too. It can bring some input to their results. Yeah.
I'm blown away. If me and the other trainers realized this could go to other cancers, that would have been on your market slide.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, last question.
You should also talk to the University of Southampton because the consortium that they're part of also includes Latin American universities. I think Harvard is involved as well, and you would get a large amount of exposure just through that one contact.
Okay.
So, University of Southampton.
Yeah.
We're going to go to our next fellow, but in the break, could you please ask these nice judges for the contact information?
Yeah, right.
I'm sure they will help you out. Thank you very much. Saionara is doing some last-minute discussions over there. She's ignoring us. I can't believe I didn't ask the question you asked earlier, so we could have prostate cancer or colon.
That should be on the first line.
That's going to save me from those annual. All right. Saionara is going to present her innovation next. Everybody, thank you.
Hi, my name is Saionara. I am PhD in chemistry. I'm founder of Brasitec in Brazil. Nowadays, we work with sustainable and biodegradable and biocompatible materials for many applications. The last 5 years, we work in a formulation for 3D printing pasting. Now our potential market is a dental market. They use a lot of 3D printing, and also it's move a lot of billions of dollars around the world. The problem nowadays, especially in Brazil, the raw materials they use it for prepare the pastes, it's import, or it's expensive materials, or you have to print it in other clinics and other industries. So you can manufacture it in a custom-made process, exactly in the shape of unique for each person. So this is my innovator. It's an input, it's a material you can 3D print in with high resolution. It's a biocompatible hardness. You compare with plastic is nowadays is more common in 3D printing. And also you have, when you use it for 3D printers, have a less material, more or less. Our formulation uses just a renewable source. You have in abundance nanocellulose in Brazil. So I use all the additives low cost, and then you have our own production, and then you 3D printing for a dental application. Our business model, you can apply for many ways. One of them you can for dental distributor, or also you can customize a product for a specific dental clinics or dentists. Now you have a grant funding in Brazil, and then you start making our prototypes with different raw materials. And also you have a support with a company who manufactures our 3D printer in Brazil. This is our team. We are together, have more than 40 years in experience in raw materials, ceramics, and 3D printing. Why you are here? You're looking for a new market for our products, new applications, and also some customer discover. Thanks.
Whoa! Good job. Woo.
What is the cost saving for a typical dentist if they were to transfer everything over to your application? What would be the impact? Would it save them money, or would it just last longer? I didn't understand the difference.
You have a cost saving when you compare the raw materials you're using nowadays, because source material is cheaper. The most of them use for 3D print ceramic is aluminum. In Brazil, for you print aluminum, it's more than 90% of purity. So it's really expensive, and also don't have own production in Brazil. So we import this, and I produce my own raw material. So also it's biocompatible. You have some printing material, but it's not biocompatible. So we have a rejection, problems with adaptations, it's like this.
But what would be the difference in cost? So if I'm a patient and I have one of these things put in,
you want to do exactly how much I can.
Yeah, what would be the difference? What would I, cost-wise, what would I experience?
Yes, this is we don't have yet, because you are in the proof of concept, and I don't in the market yet.
You're still doing customer discovery on that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
But I know it cost me $1,000 to have my wife's implant made 2 weeks ago, so it's going to be less than that.
And have you had contact with the NHS yet?
No.
Okay, well, my neighbour is the head of dentistry, so give me...
Thank you very much. Could be nice.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And where is our final fellow? Here. There we go, I'm sorry. I'm looking in the back. Okay, our final fellow for the day, and of course I have to say last but not least, Ticyana. Morning. Morning. Yes. Final. Oh, she stole your clicker.
A clicker.
You gotta watch Saionara.
So,
okay.
Okay, good morning. My name is Ticyana. I'm from Brazil. I'm an agronomist and PhD in plant pathology. First of all, I need to tell you that hyperspectral images can show 200 times more info than a multispectral image. I keep pushing people. And so why this is important for agriculture? Hyperspectral images is almost like a laboratory analysis, and you can do early detection before the visual symptoms on the crops. Then this leads the specific benefits like reduce environmental residue of pesticide and the fungicide resistance, and reduce cost to the farmers, besides increase efficiency. We start to study just in soybean rust because soybean is the most important crop in Brazil. This disease causes 14 to 70% of reduce in yield production, and our solution can save at least $3 billion per year, or 6 million tons of soy just in soybean crops, and just in Brazil. We have a lot of crops and a lot of agronomy parameters to looking in hyperspectral images. So drones and multispectral images is currently, this kind of technologies help, but hyperspectral imaging holds the promise to completely transform the monitoring crops. So what's the challenge now? What's prevented this technology from being deployed straight away? The issue is require coordinate expertise across multiple complex domains, and currently we do not see anybody who has assembled it. So about our customers and our value proposition, we are the missing piece and a tool to improve the efficacy of our customers' core product. So our revenues will be consulting, API, software development, license when we patent our things, and updates. So for traction, we already have $50,000 in grants from FAPESP. We are in an early development proof of concept stage. Our results will come on December, and we already have inbound inquiries from world-class chemical and monitor companies, and we are applying for another grant to detection resistance weeds in soybean crops. For here, we need more financial support to conclude our proof of concept, finish our patent application, and I need a co-founder in these domains because we need a lot of expertise in our team. Here in this training, I changed my business plan because we are in a really early stage of concept, so there is a lot of things to do in our canvas. So here are our team. We are 6 PhD, 1 master, 1 bachelor, and 3 interns. So thank you.
I'm pretty sure the people in ag tech like Lucas and João can help you find a co-founder.
Yeah, Lucas, Caetano.
How are you currently funding this? Do you have revenues?
No, I'm in
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, actually, this 4 here is from the grant that I got at FAPESP. Okay. And these 3 here is just they believe in me, so they help me about the data analysis, about the agronomy, stuff like irrigation and...
And how much are you raising? How much are you raising?
$50,000.
you want an investment of $50,000, or that's what you've raised already?
That's a grant.
Just it. I start.
But going forward, how much are you looking to raise money-wise?
For now, I need kind of 100,000 for give a pilot to finish the proof of concept and start to finish everything.
Growth capital, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if there's no other questions, I would like to thank you.
Thank you.
And with this, we have finished the Brazilian cohort. I'd like to please ask everybody to have some refreshments out in the main room and...
The others started the pitches, so if they can keep it down.
Also, just one note, keep your voices a little... I know we're Latin Americans and we like to speak loud, but when we're outside, if you could keep your voices a little bit down. Also, remember to ask your judges for those contacts they had. And if you don't, we will be angry at you.